What's happening, Tilray traders and investors? It's Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Monday, April 4th. Hope you were all well today. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing the stock Tilray, ticker symbol TLRY. In a short video, we're going to do some analysis and also going to be discussing upcoming earnings on Wednesday, April 6th. That's going to be pre-market and going to dive into some charting and some analysis as well. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel, tick the bell to be notified on any future updates. I would appreciate it very much. Diving right into today's content, I want to bring up first and foremost the fact that I made a post to private chat members basically saying that Tilray was below 750 USD, and I had given, this is back on April 1st, and before that I had given multiple heads up that we could see daily consolidation at some point soon, and a lot of people were asking if we were still going to see that $7.50 to $7 Tilray. So back from April 1st, I said Tilray now below 750 USD, approaching the gap at 707 and 7 psychological support. For those looking for longer term entries, now is a great time to start scaling in as we get closer to those supports. Not financial advice, of course. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. But if you are interested in signing up for Power Group, you can join our private chat community. Just go to pursuitofwealthgroup.com or powergroup.ca, and we have some memberships there as well. No longer offering the trial, that's expired, but you can check back a little bit later at a later date to see if that is back up and running. Also had a new logo change today, in case you haven't noticed. Really digging this. The whole idea of the bird and the eagle was to symbolize freedom and pursuit of wealth, right? It's a journey, it doesn't happen overnight. And then obviously you get the bar chart here and signifying that prices are soaring. So let me know in the comments what you think of the new logo. Really impressed with it, super professional, and really love what the designer did. Moving on, so earnings, like I said, for Tilray are before market open on Wednesday, April 6th. And we are consolidating here on the weekly time frame leading into that, which we'll look at here in the chart, but potential for a weekly trend change leading into those earnings. And in my opinion, I think it's a good thing that we're seeing weekly consolidation before earnings, because that way, you know, the harder we run, the more we run into earnings, the more we're going to have to absolutely crush those earnings to see positive momentum continuation, right? So the fact that we're seeing some weakness in weekly consolidation leading into those earnings means that even the slightest beat would send us quite higher. But this is incorrect. So it's showing here April 12th on investing.com. It's actually April 6th, and they're forecasting negative 0.1028 on EPS, and revenue is expected at 202.55 million. And again, that's in Canadian dollars. Usually they report in Canadian dollars. So this chart though is all in USD. I chart the NASDAQ because that is where the big volume is, right? So as I mentioned earlier, we're starting weekly consolidation, and we topped out right there at EMA 26. You can see EMA 26 has been rejecting the price ever since we lost it. And here we got above it, but we didn't change the weekly trend, right? We had no weekly higher low and higher high, so we knew to be skeptical. We got above it, and then again, because we didn't confirm that uptrend, we just got knocked back down. Again, we tested EMA 26 on the weekly time frame, and we did not change the weekly trend, and we ended up closing back down below it to end that week, and then we just continued the downward action, and here we are. No uptrend yet. We broke the weekly downtrend with the break there of resistance at 748. Once we broke that, there was no longer a weekly downtrend. So at the moment, the trend is flat. But like I said, we're starting weekly consolidation, having lost 735, the low of last week. And we're holding EMA 12 so far, which is sitting there at 695. As I mentioned, we had a gap on the chart to be watching, and that was at 707. And if you remember last week, how many people, you know, I remember saying to people, I said, you know, watch out, don't FOMO in. We're probably going to see them run it. And in a matter of, what was it, a couple of days, I think about a week, in about 11 days, trading days, we were up almost 100%. So we were up 90% there off of the low, the 52-week lows. And I said, don't FOMO in, because we're likely going to see daily consolidation. We had a daily inside bar, actually multiple daily inside bars, and we broke it bullish. A lot of people may have entered there on that break and got FOMO. And let's just say you were one of those people who entered on that break and you did get FOMO, you'd be down from that high, you'd be down about 22%. And we held daily EMA 12, and a lot of people were asking me back here on March 28th, are we still going to get that dip? I really want to, I'm getting FOMO. I really want to add to my Tilray position. I said, just wait. And then when we broke it bullish and we broke to a higher high, a lot of people, I should have bought. And I said, no, we're not completely out of the woods yet. And then we got daily consolidation, right? We had no real daily high or low support. Really all the way down here, like this move's all coming off the low. We really didn't see any daily consolidation. So we knew it was just a matter of time. And I said, if anybody, I mentioned back here, right? I said, if anybody's looking for entries, now's the time to start setting some limit orders, right? Another thing you can do is set a limit buy order for a certain level. And maybe you're adding there around that 707. Look where we hit today, 705. Perfect gap fill. And we held daily EMA 12. And wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if we started the daily bounce again. We need to break the high of 752 tomorrow to confirm that the daily bounce is underway. But like I said, Tilray still haven't yet changed the weekly trend. We had a few names that changed their weekly trend, like SNDL. We had the low, high, higher, low, and higher high. I think Hexo did as well, having held that double bottom essentially there at 46 cents. We had a low, high, higher, low, and higher high. But now pulling back, same with SNDL, because the rest of the sector didn't change weekly trends, right? And Tilray being the leader, obviously we need the whole sector to be in weekly uptrends, and then we need monthly uptrends. HMMJ, the ETF, also hasn't changed its weekly trend, but starting weekly consolidation, so it's looking good. And then in terms of the USMJ, again, weekly consolidation beginning, and it could be a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here on watch as well. If we're looking here at, if we continue to bounce, we could come up, down, and form a weekly inverse head and shoulders. If this is all the weekly consolidation that we get, if we do continue weekly consolidation, then we're just looking for that weekly higher low compared to 1767. But I know this is a video primarily focused on TLRY. So again, like I said, we know that bulls are still in prove-it mode. We know that the bears are in full control, and until we confirm weekly and monthly uptrends, we know that the bottom, we can't absolutely say for sure that the bottom is set. And we know that the bottom is likely close, right? We're seeing bills passing through Congress, potentially heading to the Senate, the MORE Act. We've got other, we're looking for bipartisan support though, and Chuck Schumer also due to release his bill at some point this month. But in my opinion, the fact that we have multiple bills and multiple eyes on this, now that we know that it was sort of taking a backseat to C19 because of the economic events that were going on, and it seems that has subsided. So if we can expect positive momentum now that, like I said, a lot of eyes are on this, right? We know Amazon, we know Apple is backing this new Republican-led bill to end federal prohibition. And like I said, it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, in my opinion. And again, I don't care if it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm prepared for either scenario. I've got cash on the side to buy the dip. And I'm also, my bags are packed as well, and I will just wait it out, right? I will outpatient everybody. And this low, in almost a 4-year bear market for MJ, I'd rather be early to the party and be, adding near the bottom versus trying to time the bottom. And I say it all the time that time in the market is usually better than timing the market, especially when we're in a prolonged downtrend in a 3 to 4 year bear market where we know it's just an inevitability that we're going to eventually enter into another bullish cycle. In terms of the weekly time frame, we had a PowBot buy algo alert go off on Tilray showing medium to long-term bullish evidence. You can see here on the weekly time frame, we're back above the 10-week moving average, which is there at 650. So if we do pull back and we lose that $7, watch that 650 area, as that should be strong support in my opinion. So if you're looking at adding, like I said, today was a great entry on that gap fill around $7, and then all the way down to about 650. And the stochastic and MACD had bull crosses as well, and just blasting off here, going parabolic, looking extremely strong. In terms of the weekly time frame, we did have a bear cross of those weekly moving averages, which signified that we could see weekly consolidation, and sure enough, that's what we got. We know that we had an all-time high record daily volume for Tilray, over $2 billion traded in one day. Just for comparison's sake, on that same day, TrueLeave only traded 10 or $12 million. So 2 billion versus 10 or 12 million, huge difference, right? So this is why I own more MJ in Canada LPs dollar-wise than I do US MSOs. I own more MSO stocks, so I own more US MJ companies, but I have more dollars invested in Canadian LPs. I only hold, about 5 different LPs at the moment. I think 6 now that I added High Tide. But we have those weekly resistance there at 11.24 and 11.62. So I think $11 is going to be very, very strong resistance. Obviously $10 psychological, but we don't have any weekly resistance there until 13.95 on the price action. And in terms of the daily time frame, look what happened here. We had the death cross, and usually that means when the 50-day crosses downward through the 200-day that we can see a lot more downside. That's exactly what happened. We bounced, we were rejecting at the 50-day, and then we rejected at the 100-day. Now we rejected at the 50, we came back down, we blasted through it. Now we're struggling with that 100-day moving average again, but we're confirming it as support. So what was previous resistance is now looking to be new support. So that's looking good. 744 is the 100 daily moving average, and that held perfectly going into the end of the day today. And we also have the 200-day moving average there at 1034. So if you're looking at when to take profits and reload cheaper, I'd look to be exiting somewhere around that 950, 975. Again, I'd rather be early to the party after such a huge move if that's what you're looking to do. But I think that $10 and $11 is going to be very, very strong resistance and hard to get above. But I do think that we're going to see another leg up and potential for more euphoria in the broader market. I think the crypto space is going to see it as well. And like I said, I think that MJ isn't really going to enter its bull cycle until the light is kind of taken off of big tech and crypto. That's just stealing the show at the moment. So like I said, all eyes will be on Tilray earnings into Wednesday morning pre-market. The whole sector is going to be watching to see what sort of a reaction we get, and then hopefully maybe even lines up well with some updates with regards to the MORE Act potentially going through to the Senate for a vote. Let me know in the comments below if you believe that Tilray is going to beat earnings expectations. Do you think we're going to see the bill line up well for some nice hype and euphoria in the market? Always love hearing from you. Thanks so much for joining us again on The Pursuit of Wealth. If you could smash the like and subscribe to the channel on your way out, I would appreciate it. And as always, we'll see you again on the next video.